cause I'm on one.
You know, we have ones that's a Rastafari, live in the city, Kingston City, Manhattan, like you know, we live amongst our universal brothers and sisters, and Rastafari is for each and every one. So it's not a...
Swinging for the fences for the home run.
Habesha, Begusana, guess the Ethiopia. Habesha, Mrs. Maya, the Farambasa. Habesha.
Even further beyond into the universe, but I've got to make it to first.
Urgent message from the 12 seers of Mount Zion. They said the black nation will be blessed by God in these days. Circle the mountain and go home. Shabbat, Mount Zion calling me.
An essential worker. That's the terminology that's been used within the greater society of where we are, at least at this moment. And that's really what I've personally tried to convey, at least to those who would listen to this channel or listen to me on any of the platforms that I utilize, in attempt to really share more critical information, more things that are crucial to the essentials of life, and especially within those realms of upward mobility and finance and business and other forms of our social life, here or there. We really try to share a lot more of that information because it's clear that even within the line of Jewish society, we tend to have, quite a framework that is put into place that really will help certain ones and ones with their spiritual life, dealing with certain aspects of their mental capacity. So that's more so a textbook answer for a lot of things that really go on within one's lives on a day-to-day basis that they can utilize within their own, just everyday living. And with so much really to share, unscripted here, coming with a word sound just to give, still a bit of encouragement, even within such a trying time that we're living in. One really can find so much solace in turning inward into themselves and really evaluating their lives from where they are at this point and looking forward into the future. It's clear that technology, number one, is pretty much in all essence and all aspects of the phrase, the wave of the future. That goes without saying. But even in a time of such a technological advancement period, one can really find themselves even in a great position to move forward with a lot of analog skills. And what I mean by that is, really finding those critical skills that will allow you to sustain yourselves even beyond what you would even imagine, with having those really old world or even so, pre-industrial or even industrial skills, and give one's the legal or really the wiggle room in that sense to find a niche and also find themselves in a place where they might not have thought they could fit in. I know that even within this world, just to kind of keep things short, sweet, and simple and to the point, we find ourselves in a world where a college education is really, paramount, for certain people to really find themselves in certain circles that they may not have thought they would ever have been able to amount to or attain in that sense but you really do have a lot of other open doors that you can walk through, even within the times of what they would know as a recession, or even so to these points, as many academics have mentioned, a depression in that sense. That's clearly what we've been going through within the past year and a half to 2 years of this global or worldwide pandemic. And it's, of course, my own aspiration for those who would listen to this channel to really not only turn inward, but really start to, again, evaluate their own lives, from top to bottom. Really itemize a lot of the things that you have taken the time to pay attention to. Itemize a lot of the things that you prioritize, especially within such a critical period of time within world history. We're living through very special, trying economic, financial, and also mental, or in that sense, psychological times. Many ones, have spoken on a lot of issues that really have dealt with, the psyche. And we mentioned that so many times within the line of Judah society, even so going into a lot of etymology, a lot of the languages, a lot of linguistics, and dealing with, what we know within our own cycles, within our own yeshiva of the suke coming from the Koine Greek, or even so the modern Greek, dealing with the psyche, dealing with one's mental capacity. And surely within such a time period of the world, it really will take a toll on anyone, even those who, may find themselves with, a very high IQ, dealing with a lot of tribulations within this time, seeing as though so much of the outward world, or, in a sense, the environment, dealing with, so many aspects of, life, business, economics, social life, you name it, everything coming at you at, rapid fire sense, in a ways that you really, may not even have, the mental capacity to deal with. And, we'll have a lot more articles, a lot more, I guess you can say, in one way or another, dealings or studies, or even so evaluations, from many ones high in academia, or high within what they know as the Academy of, educational study, just evaluating not only ones on an individual level, but even so in a societal level, how they are dealing with a lot of these issues, within this, critical mass, or this, great trying time. And hopefully ones will find that strength, not only within themselves, but, throughout, their day-to-day lives, where they will find the strength to continue forward. It's been said so many times before that, many of the great achievements of many of the great individuals were made in times like these, especially when one studies a time period like the Great Depression. You have your J.P. Morgans, you have your Andrew Carnegies, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Many of these type of people made their fortunes in times such as these. And even though you may see ones like a Jeff Bezos, or a what's his name over Microsoft, the Bill Gates of the world, they They really have even so not even doubled but tripled or quadrupled and even in some cases quintupled their wealth. And I would even so encourage many ones in this time to really turn inward, not only just for the spiritual aspect, but the mental aspect, the physical aspect, and of course, the financial aspect, to find that strength. Find those things which you are very much so attuned or acute in handling, and also have great talents and great aspirations, and also find the greatest satisfaction of dealing with certain situations such as these. Because this is really, the times that try men's souls, as they would say in times of old. But just leaving a quick note here, and also just a shout out to all of our supporters, whether they be from the Light of Judah Society, Rastafari Groundation, my own platforms as far as RastafariRenaissance.com, and also Rastafari on the Brink. We really, seek to give ones that encouragement, because we can't, in a sense, speak to certain ones' situations so specifically. So we make a lot of general assumptions, not unknowingly or haphazardly, but we really seek to, give that broad overstroke, generality, to give ones, what they need in a time like this, so that they can really not only evaluate their own situations, but really find that niche, find those special talents that they do have, in order not only to monetize them, but find the satisfaction and that zeal for life, so that they can make those critical steps, and also take and make, of course, the critical sacrifices needed to move forward within this time. So much more really to come as far as that. Just, some, random thoughts on, such a somber evening. And, again, just swimming in our own thoughts on that front. And hopefully ones will stay tuned here, continue to check us out on all of our other platforms. And if they feel so, inclined, please donate, share, so that we can keep certain works like these going. We have so many things that we intend to share, such a huge backlog of vids to come. And as always, peace and love, peace within the heart, home, and in the mind. As always, from the proctor here of RastafariRenaissance.com and Rastafari on the Brink podcast. And as always, so much more to come. All right, so as always, Lidj, Yefdeyah, Rastafari Renaissance, Rastafari on the Brink here. And just some sobering thoughts just to share with ones who, really have come through this entire pandemic situation, and also, really looking forward to certain things moving on in the near and far future. It's been, quite an interesting year and a half, on up to 2 years, dealing with this situation, and even with all of the pending reasonings, conversations, and certain, just deliberations going on within the Light of Judah Society, Rastafari Groundation, all of the hubbub that has gone on with our Rastafari Sabbatical channel. Just another update here within the late summer of what we know as the year 2021. During this entire issue, a lot of things really have just come to the forefront, and really just smacked a lot of people in the face as far as the realities of the situation, what place holding they have within this society. For the ones speaking about being a critical worker, or in a sense of, what's the term that they usually use now? It's